Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a spread that I created that was sparked by the video that Jessica and the Moon did. I think it was called Letting That Shit Go. I think that's what it was called. I'll try to link that in the description box below. But she was talking about the things that we carry with us. And I think she called it a shadow bag or something along those lines. And she gave different ways in her video of how you can release and let some of that stuff that you carry with you all the time go. So be sure to check out that video and, see what she says about that. But anyway, it got me thinking. I do shadow work sometimes. I don't do it on a regular basis. Sometimes it just happens to come up for me out of the blue, and then I'll go ahead and I'll work with it. But I got this deck in last year, and it's called the Wisdom of the Shadow. Oh, I got this when they were running that special on their site. Oh geez, it was like a dented box sale or something along those lines. Wisdomoftheshadow.com if you want to go and check that out. And the author is Jessica, is it Ricchetti? And artist is Jenny Han. So in case you don't know about this oracle, I also have their Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. But they say right in the guidebook that this oracle is not a predictor. It is not intended to tell you how you're feeling or what is true for you. This is a tool to dive deeper into understanding. If you pull the fear card, that doesn't necessarily mean you should be in fear, but that you're in fear right now or that fear is looming. What it invites is an exploration of how to process the energies that come up and through, how you are in a relationship with the core essence of that, how these energies show up for you, understanding more about your life experience, and so on. As she says, the core essence in these cards will meet you in the depth that you choose to experience them. And I'm talking just about the oracle. So that is, just basically what that deck is about. Just in case you don't know, that's the backs. And then just real quickly, here are some of the cards. I think it's a really powerful deck. So what I did was, after Jessica's video, I was personally in the midst of processing some, I guess, shadowy type things myself. So I created this spread, and I'm going to move that card for a minute. So what I did was I used the oracle of the Wisdom of the Shadow, or, I guess you could use any oracle that maybe you feel works well for shadow. And I just thought about what I was going through, or what shadow, or why this certain feeling was starting to arise. And so, just for the premise of explaining how to do this spread, we'll say expectations. So the very first thing, I didn't even get out the guidebook with this. I was just, going by what the cards were showing me and the feelings that it was, bringing up within me. So the very first thing, looking at this card, is the expectation of others and how it's affecting my mind. And, and then they have writing all over their body, and, like this arm coming down is telling me that you're not good enough, and so on, like that. So once I had that, then I was like, okay, so where do I go from here? So then card 2 is over here. And this card, the deck that I'm using for the tarot to accompany it is the Tarot of Oneness. It works beautifully with this deck. And it's an independent deck. So over here, position 2, is, so why is this energy, this feeling, this maybe feeling of, not meeting everyone's expectations coming up for me right now at this time. And so the Two of Wands is there, and I was like, okay, so I'm ready for something different. I'm ready to stop basing how I think and that on what other people think of me. And the thing I got that really stood out to me, like in this card, was this circle and just like being laser focused. And I'm just maybe so focused on everything everyone else is putting into my head, I can't hear my own voice anymore. That's how I would intuitively, see this pairing together. So then I was, the next position, or I was thinking of, well, what resistance am I putting up to that? And I crossed it over the card because it's resisting this. Why am I resisting, changing? Why am I, resisting and letting people put their thoughts in my head instead of, blocking it out? And so the Nine of Cups is here, and I would read that as I'm basing my worth and how valuable I am off of what other people tell me. And I'm craving this different thought process so much that I don't even want to think about what they're saying to me, but I need to process through it to realize that I am more valuable than that. I'm worthy of more than maybe what someone is telling me or how they're making me feel. So that is position 3, is what resistance am I putting up to this shadow? And I could also see the Nine of Cups here as kind of being in denial of seeing myself in a better light. So then over here for position 4, I came up with, how have I grown, or what is this shadow or feeling currently teaching me? And the inspiration of swords is the Page of Swords. And I would take that as it's really telling me I need to communicate in a different way to these people that are placing all these expectations upon me. And until I learn to communicate in a different way, this is going to continue. I'm going to continue to let people cross those boundaries, or I would continue, to let them make me feel unworthy of things until I start to learn to speak up for myself. And then up here, the final position is, how can I release this? How can I let go of this feeling? How can I finally fully process this feeling? And hopefully I'm in frame here. And then up here is the Five of Wands. So that would tell me that I need to start surrounding myself with people that are going to build me up. I'm sorry, the Four of, wait, not 5, 4. 4 of Wands. I'm sorry about that. But I need to start surrounding myself with people that are going to build me up, that's going to be stable and a support system for me, and not continually try to tear me down so maybe they feel better about themselves. I need to surround myself with the people that are good for me, and not those that have more of negative look on my life, or have a negative aspect to their own life. And that is the best way I would see it, as to start to release these expectations of others, is I need to move away from them. I need to get away from those people that are acting like that towards me on a regular basis. So when because when I first started doing this spread, I was just kind of throwing cards. And when these questions started popping up in my mind, that's what I thought, I need to start jotting these down and come up with a placement. And I really like this because, you can, if you look here, a lot of the coloring in here is mirrored in here and also over here. And this is the words that people are saying to me that, make me feel bad. So if you go over here to the Page of Cups and about the communication, I love how that ties in. Everything in this card relates to all the colors. Every color is represented minus the black. I mean, I guess a little bit. So yes, a shift in who I have as my core unit would make a huge difference in letting all these others who on a regular basis cross my boundaries and so on. So I'll do one more. Okay, here's the next example. I shuffled off camera because everybody, according to my stats, fast forwards through the shuffling anyway. So I just thought I'd jump to the chase. Okay, anyway. All right, so I'll set this aside for right now. Our primary card is voice. And this is what shadow or feeling is coming up or coming forward for me. And with this one, it's in the guidebook, they talk about being silenced. So maybe you're feeling like you're not being heard, or maybe you feel what you're saying no one is valuing, or that you're not able to speak your truth because, you've always been silenced, or, been told to be quiet, or felt undervalued, or, whatever. So that is the feeling, the emotion that is coming forward. So then over here, we have position 2, which is the, well, why? Why is this so present right now? Why is this feeling or emotion or whatever coming forward for me? And we have the Magician. And I would read that as that it is time for you to start creating a life that you want. And the only way you can do that is by speaking your truth, is by standing up and saying what needs to be said. Words have power. Words have power of manifestation. Words have power of creation. And if you can't speak them, then how can you create? So that's why this is coming forward for you right now. So then our card that would cross position 3 is, what resistance am I putting up to the shadow? And here we have the Temperance card. And I would see this as you feel out of balance as much as you want to speak up and say your truths and, create this new life through doing that. There's that ingrained fear of being shut down, or perhaps the voice is out of balance because instead of you being able to get your point across in a well-versed or in a direct manner, you maybe you explode and yell or scream to get your point across in some way, and therefore aren't heard that way either. So there's an out of balance where you don't exactly know how to maybe speak in the right way in order to be heard. So that's how I would read that Temperance card. So over here for Position 3 is what resistance, oh no, I'm sorry. Position 4 is how have I grown from this shadow, or how can this shadow help me grow, or what am I learning? So I have the Ace of Swords. And the very first thing I would pick up with that is you're going to learn a new way. It's going to help you grow in your communication. I'll say it that way. It will help you grow in how you communicate with others in order to get what it is that you want, in order to learn how to create the world that you want, or to have the kind of relationships that you want to have. So by learning to communicate in a new way, you can have a deeper relationship with those around you and become more connected to those around you by learning to speak for yourself and to speak your truths. And then up here in our last position 5, how can I release this, or how can I move through this feeling? And I'm going to tie that back into the communication and the relationships. Is you need to communicate with your partner or whoever this is in a different way to help them better understand that you're not being heard, or that you don't feel that you're heard, and that you want to co-create a better relationship together, a better foundation with one another, through this better communication, being able to say what you need to say in a more balanced way with the Temperance card. So that is how I would read this set. I absolutely love this spread that I created. I have found it so useful. I've used it for a multitude of different things, not just shadow. Like I said, it's how am I feeling? It's helping me process maybe how I'm feeling in the current moment. So if you don't do shadow work, just use it like that. Use it as a process your feelings type spread. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of it, if you're going to use it. If you do make a video about it, tag me in it. I'd love to see how you work through it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And until I see you next time, bye.